Good morning, class 8, and welcome to biology class. So, today we will be beginning a new chapter, chapter 17 Aids to Health. This chapter has been included in your syllabus with a special motive of providing awareness about one's health and hygiene. It is very important to keep oneself healthy not only at the individual or personal level but at the community level also. Now, what does this mean? This means that we need to keep ourselves clean at a personal level by washing, bathing, brushing teeth, regular physical exercise, by eating proper diet, and by taking enough or required rest and sleep. However, at the community level, we have to think about our surrounding, people who are residing in our surrounding, and how can we do the health hygiene habits. It's by removing the accumulated garbage or by removing the contaminated water in our surrounding, etc. can be done in order to avoid the disease causing germs or any insect which can lead us to various kind of diseases. So as per you have seen in your surrounding, and as per the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan has come up with a motive of cleaning oneself and the surrounding clean. Talking about one's health, the very first thing that comes to mind is immunity. As the soldiers at the borders of the country protect the country from the entry of enemies, similarly, our body consists of different components or organs or secretions which can protect our body from the entry of germs inside the body. Immunity means the body defense against the diseases, because our body also consists of a defense mechanism which protect us and try to maintain our body in a proper condition. As we know that our body is every now and then invaded by various kind of foreign agents, like foreign agents mean germs like bacteria, virus, etc., or even few pollutants like poisonous chemicals which might enter our body in various ways. Like few ways are given here, four ways you can see in your book also. Directly through the skin, as we know that skin is not permeable to all the substances, but few substances can get a direct entry through the skin. Second, through mucous membrane of eyes, nose, urinary or genital tract. Mucous membrane is a thin lining of skin present at the inner side of eyes, nose, urinary or genital tracts, and this skin provide a very sticky substance known as mucus which keep this organs like eyes, nose, urinary means the excretory parts, and genital means the reproductive parts. This keep these parts and these organs from and prevent it from drying up. So germs can enter through this membrane also. Number three, through food or water intake, like if a contaminated fly has been sitting on the food or water which we are trying which are about to consume, then that food or water becomes contaminated, and if we take it, then the germs will enter into our body. Next is through the air we breathe in. As we know, various kind of bacteria and viruses are always there in the air, so we are susceptible to fall for it. The germs might enter through it, and our body try all the way to prevent the germs from entering into the body, and it keeps our body harmless by its own defense mechanism. So let's see what is the defense mechanism, how the body protect the germs from entering into our body. The defense system of our body works at two levels. The first one is local defense system and the second is immune system. Talking about the local defense system, This system includes different organs or parts of the body which tackles the germs at the possible entry points. That means it will tackle or it will deal with the germs at the entry point itself, and it will prevent the germs from entering inside the cells or the tissues of the body. Now, this includes the protective mechanical barriers. The second is, suppose a germ has been entered into the body, then there are certain agents which are going to throw it out. The third is germ killing secretions. Secretions means the liquid. Like many parts of our body are providing liquids which have some chemical properties, and those chemicals can kill the germs. The fourth is germ fighting WBCs. WBCs means white blood cells. As I had already told you that our blood consists of different components, RBCs, WBCs. So RBCs are helpful in carrying the oxygen in the blood. Similarly, WBCs are important in fighting with the germs. The next defense system is the immune system. This deals with germs when the germs have already entered the body, tissues or cells. So let us deal with the local defense system first, one by one. The first one is protective mechanical barriers. This include the skin, hair, mucus, etc. So we are going to deal with these one by one. So the first one is skin. As you know that skin is the largest organ of the body, and if you take a small piece of skin, a bit of it, and observe it under a microscope, you will find the following structure there as it is shown in the left side of the slide, the picture. Skin has a very thick covering which is also known as epidermis, and this thick covering is made up of a protein known as keratin, which is almost impermeable to germs. Impermeable means it will not allow the entry of germs at any cost through it. However, it had been exceptions, like few chemicals have got the entry through it. It is still going on. However, if any germs come in contact with the human body, come in contact with the skin, it rests on the surface of the skin, as the skin also consists of hairs. So these germs might have come in direct contact with the contaminated person, or it might have been present in the air. Anyway, if it has got the passed through the skin, then it will settle on the skin surface. That's why it is asked to use regularly, clean yourself by taking bath or washing your hands with hand washes or soaps, or might be using sanitizers. Another way by which these germs can get an entry through the skin is can be a cut. When you get hurt and you get a cut, then blood comes out and the part of skin is broken there, so the germs could get an entry. But then also a chemical is released which will allow the blood to clot there. Clot means a chemical will release which will form threads there, and these threads will join together and form a clot which will look little outburst, and this clot will prevent the entry of germs through the skin. So the second mechanical barrier is hairs. Hairs are present on the head and also in the nostril region, that means inside the nose. And these hairs have a property of trapping the dust consisting of germs. In the picture you can see on the left side the hair follicles. If you pulled out the hair follicles, then the area gives a gap and the germs could enter through it. So therefore it is said not to pull the hair follicles or the hair present inside the nostril to prevent the entry of germs inside the body. This The third mechanical barrier is mucus. Mucus is a slimy secretion or semi-liquid, sticky secretion or liquid that is secreted by the epithelial or outer lining of various organs like nasal passage or windpipe, and this secretion is so sticky that it help in trapping the bacteria if somehow enter into the body. When you catch cough and cold, the liquid comes out. This mucus comes out from the nose. This is the mucus, and it prevent the entry of bacteria inside the body tissues. The next, you can see the next picture, second picture. Picture shows cilia in the respiratory tract or windpipe. The other name of respiratory tract is windpipe. So these cilia are like hair-like, and they are work in throwing the bacteria which is trapped in the mucus. As mucus is sticky, so it will hold the bacteria. It will prevent bacteria will flow in a smooth passage. So if it is sticky and thick, then it is going to get trapped there in the mucus. Whereas the cilia is like hairs, so it is going to throw it out from the body. The next, local defense system is thrown out if entered. Now any bacteria has entered the body, now it need to be thrown out. So the direct method of throwing out the foreign materials from the respiratory tract or digestive system can be coughing, sneezing, vomiting, because when you sneeze or when you cough, you throw a large amount of bacteria in the atmosphere. That's why it is also said to cover your mouth when you are sneezing or coughing, so that it could prevent the spread of bacteria to the next person standing to you. Even diarrhea means loose motions, helps in excluding or removing the germs out from your digestive system. So here's the video which will show you how sneezing works.
Sneezing is an involuntary expiration of air to rid the nasal passages of foreign material. Particles that enter the nostrils and irritate nerve endings in the nasal mucosa trigger impulses that are transmitted via the fifth cranial nerve to the brain's sneezing center in the medulla. This sets off a respiratory response. Rapid inspiration fills the lungs, the epiglottis and vocal cords close, and the muscles of exhalation in the chest and abdomen tighten in a spasmodic contraction. These events create a buildup of pressure in the lungs. When a sufficiently high level of pressure is attained, the vocal cords relax, the epiglottis opens, and an expulsion of air rushes through the nose and mouth. The force of the sneeze propels the irritants out of the nasal cavity. Sneezing.
The next mechanism, the third mechanism, is the germ-killing secretion. Secretions means liquid. So our body is providing different secretions like saliva, sweat, tears, or nasal secretions which contain the germ-killing substances or chemicals. Saliva, sweat as you know, tears, even when we are crying, the tears which are coming out, these tears also consist of different germs. And nasal secretion means the phlegm which is releasing out. The next is the hydrochloric acid. As you know, in our stomach also bacteria are there, and hydrochloric acid is also present there. Our stomach is releasing the HCl, hydrochloric acid. So that acid is also helpful in killing the germs if somehow entered into our body through contaminated food or water. So the fourth local defense system is the germ-fighting WBCs, or white blood cells, and these white blood cells are present in blood. These are also known as phagocytes. So if the germ has, microbe means the germ has entered into the body, now the WBCs come to play their role. So you look in figure 17.1 of page 167, you will see that this WBCs, as you know, are present inside the blood capillaries, and there is always chemical signals present in the body. So when the bacteria has entered into the body, a chemical signal will go to the WBCs asking it to come out from the capillary. So this WBCs on getting the signals will force themselves out through the blood capillaries, and this process is known as diapedesis. And A number you can see it, and B you will see it that when this WBCs are out from the capillary, now they will find their way through chemical signals to the bacteria, and they are going to engulf it. Engulf it means eat it. And finally, in the C number, you will see that the bacteria has been engulfed or eaten up by the WBCs. WBCs have destroyed it, and during the fighting, not only the WBC destroy the bacteria, but they also get killed. So there is an example, pus. Pus means when you get hurt, your wound get clotted, where the blood clotting will be there. Then you might also see that a white color liquid also comes out. Yellow color liquid comes out. This yellow liquid is known as pus, which is a mixture of the killed germs plus the killed WBCs and damaged tissues and cells. So this is all about the local defense system. In the next two slides, there are two videos. The first video will show you the process of diapedesis, how the WBCs are coming out from the or squeezing out through the capillary wall, and the second video will show the work how the WBCs function. So, what can be the merits or advantages of local defense systems? The first one is they start working instantaneously, means that on they start working very fast. On entry of the germs or in exposure of the germs, the local defense system becomes active very fast. The second is they are not dependent on previous exposure to infection. Now, here let me make one point clear to you that the body defense mechanism works, the immune system, especially the immune system, which is the second level of defense system, it works on the previous exposure. Means that previously if the germs have attacked the body, then there are certain cells which are known as memory cells. They keep a memory of it, that which antibody has killed this germ. So and then they attack. But local defense system does not have any such procedure or any such mechanism. They work without it. So that is an advantage. The third number is they are effective against a wide range of potentially infectious agent. Means a wide range or large number of foreign particles agents can be destroyed by local defense system. So this is all about today's topic.